transformation, labor law and employee relations, gamification, HR analytics, and career resilience. It is a fully packed weekend for all of you who have chosen to join us, and we are certain that by the power of God, it will be a remarkable one for you. One that helps you strike that fine balance in supporting and developing the scarce human resources in your organizations to drive business results and position you for greater impact. We only ask 3 things of you today. 1, your undivided attention. 2, writing materials to take notes. And 3, uninterrupted data connection. Once again, we welcome you on board. But first, we must present to you our keynote speaker, who has been allotted a whole hour, including questions and answers, to set the right context for us in this summit, and also as HR professionals as we practice in our fields. He has made a huge impact, particularly in the HR field in Nigeria, and we are privileged to have him share his vast experience today. He will be speaking on the subject, which I am particularly excited about: skip the jargon and speak the language of the business. Our keynote speaker is Mr. Bolaji Olagunju. Mr. Bolaji Olagunju is a serial entrepreneur, an author, trainer, coach, and a consultant to some of the most important and interesting businesses in Africa. He has over 20 years of experience serving diverse industries such as financial services, telecoms, technology, oil and gas, FMCG, hospitality, to mention but a few. He is the group executive chairman of workforcegroup.com, one of the leading business and HR consultant firms in Africa with over 8,000 workforce. He is also the founder of ownersinstitute.com, a pragmatic membership-based learning and growth community for established owners, emerging owners, and experts who want to own their future. Ladies and gentlemen, make ready your writing materials. Drop a comment and let us know that you are there. Send in your questions in the chat box as you listen to him. And now please welcome Mr. Bolaji Olagunju. Mr. Bolaji Olagunju.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me, please?
Loud and clear, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, let me upload my presentation. Okay, can you see it clearly though?
Yes, we can. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon or good evening. I'm Bolaji Olagunju, as introduced, and this is a bit about my profile. You know, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so that means I've started several businesses over the course of several years, and I'm also an author. I'm a trainer, coach, and work with diverse businesses across multiple industries. I'm really, really glad to be here, and thank you everybody for joining. I'm always impressed when I see people want to learn, want to grow, and want to develop themselves. It's always very, very challenging. It's always very, very. Hello, sorry.
Yes, you will, yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay, it's always very, very interesting when I come across individuals that are committed to their own personal growth and learning and development. Always very exciting. To me, the biggest commitment you can make to your learning is the commitment to your personal growth and development. You know, the commitment to becoming a student, to learn whatever you need to learn, to become whoever you want to become. When I look at my own life and what I've been through, where I've been to, it's not like I've not made any mistake or I've not stumbled in the past in the course of building my business or even my career, you know, but the commitment to learning, you know, whatever it is that I've gone through, you know, I'm always able to pick up, you know, and, you know, pick up I get back on track each time I find myself stuck in a situation or struggling with anything. So I think learning is very, very important, you know, in getting from wherever you are to wherever you want to get to. So I'm exceptionally flattered that I get to contribute to your learning and development this evening, whatever, as part of this laudable learning summit. Let me also say thank you for the organizer for putting this together. I think it's amazing that you're able to pull this off. I'm very excited that so many people have joined, and I think together we can start certain conversations today that can help, you know, just even if it's a bit, you know, move the HR community forward. So I'm indeed very humble and I'm grateful. I've already been introduced, so I won't spend a lot of time on this. Now, anytime I have the opportunity to share knowledge or advice as a professional that is in the business of giving advice, I normally like to start with what I call boundary conditions. You know, I know that there are exceptions to every rule. You know, I'm very sure of that. And irrespective of who it is that is giving advice, you know, there comes a point beyond which the advice might not be applicable or relevant to your actual context. So that point is called boundary conditions. So like everything, this advice I'll be given today have boundary conditions. Context matters a lot in business and in career. So I'm not going to say everything I'm going to say will apply to you exactly. You know, your particular context or situation might be different because this is a general session. But having said that, I believe that what I'm going to say is universally applicable, and some of it will impact you, you know, some to a very large extent, some to some, you know, minimal extent. But I want you to bear in mind that you get a lot of value from this, you know, so bear with me, keep an open mind today, and even over the rest of the weekend as you listen to other speakers as well. And anything you hear, though I see a lot of people, especially the HR professionals, because we attend a lot of seminars, conferences, and webinars. Sometimes we say we've heard that before, you know. So rather than say that you've heard that before, ask yourself, am I doing anything with that knowledge? You know, am I acting on that knowledge? Because you know what they say, the greatest gap in life is the gap between knowing and doing. So don't just learn with the intention of just learning. Learn with what they call application focus. You know, learn with the intent to apply, because that's the only way you can get the best out of this summit. So then one more thing, permission. So there's a powerful premise inherent in the work of human resources, and that promise is the promise to optimize workplace performance in support of the achievement of business goal. You know, it's a laudable promise, and that's what we as a professional say, that look, we'll help organizations optimize their human capital, you know, so that the business can grow, thrive, survive, and then continue to exist, you know, business continuity, okay? Sadly, you know, I can say based on my interaction with a lot of businesses that these promises are not being kept, you know, as much as, you know, is good for the environment, for the business community, and even the society as a whole. You know, we're not really keeping these promises because businesses are failing at astronomical rates. Sometimes, you know, I must admit, inability to keep these promises is not entirely the fault of HR professionals. I know that for a fact, you know, and sometimes it's our fault, you know. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. You know, the most important thing is organizations are in dire need of effective HR, and HR professionals can add significant value if we raise our game and we grow our capabilities to deliver on the promises that we make to the business, the promises that is underpinning the profession of HR. So my assignment today is to raise awareness about what HR professionals should be doing, can be doing, the capabilities that they should be developing, they should be growing to help their business succeed, and by so doing, thrive in their role. To do this, I will have to be critical, you know, of some of HR practices and some of the things I've seen in HR profession that I think, you know, could be better, so to speak, you know. So in this short presentation, I'll be a bit critical in some areas, but my intention is to push us to raise our game. So it's not intended to upset anybody, because like they say, HR people can be very petty sometimes. When you say some things, they take it personal. So Some of the criticism might sound harsh, but my intention is not to cause any harm. It's just to get us to start thinking differently so that we can really, really fulfill our promise. And one of my favorite quotes in the world is this by Norman Vincent Peale. He said, the trouble with most of us is that we would rather be ruined by praise than saved by criticism. Okay, I hope everybody listening will rather be saved by criticism than ruined by praise. You know, I think most HR professionals always want to improve, always want to grow, and I believe that is something valuable that we should always hold on to. And there are almost 300 people on the call now, and it's an interesting profession because there's so many other professions that people do not take their learning and growth this seriously. So I'm really excited that this is the case here. So having taken all those out of the way, now let's get down to business. So let's start. So get your pen and paper ready. Most of my sessions are always driven by two things: questions and frameworks, okay? I think questions are more important than answers. Questions are much more powerful than answers, because if you can ask the right question, the answer will come. So I'll be asking a lot of questions and then trying to answer them in my own way. The second thing is framework. Framework gives you like a process, like a guide, you know, so that, you know, if you get somewhere down the line and you can't find your way, you can always retrace your step and then go again. So I will share a couple of frameworks that I think can help us unlock our potentials as HR professionals and hopefully improve our capacity to add value to our business. So my first question is this: which is more important, knowledge about things or knowledge of how best to do things? Which is more important, you know? Clearly, knowledge of how best to do things is more important, but that's not what most people concentrate on learning. Because if knowledge of how best to do things is what is important, then who you learn from and how you learn will be different from what I've seen a lot of people engage in. And especially in today's world, knowledge about things is less important compared to knowledge of how best to do things. Knowledge of how best to do things is so crucial, and the best way we can get it is from the best, you know, people that do things the best way that we want to copy or want to emulate, okay? Knowledge of how best to do things is the shortest route to achieving high performance and effectiveness in your career, okay? Knowledge of how best to do things. And when you understand that, then you know that you want to try and understand what successful people or what effective people or, you know, what the best in your career or in your profession know and do differently, and so that you can learn from them. You know, so following up to that, then let's look at this curve called the HR effectiveness curve, okay, which shows effectiveness on one side and then professionals in order of effectiveness. What we've seen over time is that within the HR profession, there are bottom poor performance within the range of about 20 to 30% of them, you know, where they are HR professionals, but they are not, you know, where they need to be. They don't really have what it takes to create the kind of value that their business needs. You know, they're not engaging, and this is based on research, they're not engaging at the level that is required. These are the people that are doing interview. If you ask them why they want to be in HR, they will tell you that it's because they like people, you know, that they are people oriented. You know, it's because they like people and they are people oriented. And interestingly, HR is not about people that like people, really. If it's true that you love people, you should go to internally displaced camp. You know, that's where people that really love people, you know, go to. Basically, HR is first and foremost about business, you know, about leveraging or optimizing human capital, you know, to help businesses succeed. You know, so your premise into even your career, again, you need to check it. What exactly, you know, is your motivation? You know, this category of people are there. The second large percentage of HR professionals fall within the average performance, whatever, about 65 to 70%. These are professionals that, you know, they love, you know, their career. They want to be better at what they do and they are trying, but that effectiveness is still not there. They're not able to deliver at the level, you know, that is expected, okay? So there are some professionals like that. And then the third part, which is the focus of this session today, are the small, top performers in HR, about 2 to 3% of them, who are really, really exceptional at what they do. So the question is, what do the best HR professionals know that differentiate them from the rest? What do they do differently that set them apart? What can other aspiring HR professionals like us, learn from them so that we can significantly grow our capacity? I've been very, very fortunate to know some of these people, and privileged to call them friends, and even clients, and they are really, really amazing. And I've learned a lot of things from them. I've learned to observe them over the past almost 20 years now, looking at how they think, what they do differently, and all that. So the focus of my presentation today is, what do these 2 to 3% of top HR professionals do differently than the rest? And to do that, I'll be using a framework. At the beginning, I said I love framework. So the HR Effectiveness Triad, okay, there are three key elements that separate the generalists, most of the general average HR professionals from the best. These three things are very, very important. The first thing is how they think, thinking, okay? How you think matters a lot, because people think at different levels. The best HR professionals I've had the opportunity to meet and interact with, both locally and internationally across the world, just think differently. They have what they call the higher order level of thinking, how they approach issues. And that thinking is a factor of the kind of hat they wear, okay? The thinking, how they think, is a factor of the kind of hats they wear, and they wear multiple hats in their businesses. We'll discuss those hats shortly. The second thing is what they do, okay? So their action, the action they take. There are certain actions that are critical, to becoming the best, to being effective in your career, especially in HR. So we'll look at the different actions they take. And then thirdly is their know-how. Know-how means knowledge and skills. That's what know-how, the combination of that word means knowledge and skills. So the knowledge and skills that they bring to the table, their share capacity that they bring into issues, their content, as professionals, what they're really good at matters. Those are the three things that form together. Now, if you see an HR professional who can think at high order level, really, really strategic, and who knows the action to take, but the know-how is not there, then you get to struggle significantly. This is rare, but sometimes you see people that they're just, have this, ability to think high level, basically even know what to do, but how to do it is a challenge. On the other hand, if you have people that think high level, have the know-how, but they're not able to act, and most of the times when I've seen this is a function of the environment where they find themselves in, and then they get to be really, really frustrated. You can even hear when they're complaining, maybe because they are limited by the environment they found themselves in. And then the third part is when you know what to do, you can act, and then have the know-how and the skills, but the thinking part is a challenge. Then you are what they call tactical. You're always extremely tactical. So these are the 3 points. But the sweet spot, where you find the best HR professionals, is right in the middle, where the thinking, how they think, the action they take, and then their know-how overlaps. Okay, that's where you find the best people. And my aim with this presentation is to push us, towards adopting, the thinking, action, and know-how of the very best of our profession. Okay, because I think that will really help. Okay, so part one is thinking. Okay, so again, question. So what are the different hats? I told you that the thinking of the best HR professionals are influenced by the different hats that they wear in business. So what are the different hats HR professional needs to wear in their business if they hope to be effective and successful? Okay, there are at the minimum 4 hats that the best HR professionals need to wear if they hope to be successful and effective in their business. Okay, there are minimum 4 hats. The first hat is the CEO. The very best HR professionals have the capacity to think like CEOs. It's amazing when you hear them discuss issues, you know that, look, these ones have what it takes, to engage at any level, because they actually think, they put it on the heart of the CEO, and then they think at that level. What does it mean to think like a CEO? We recently, we have a survey that we've been conducting, I think over the past 5 years, about what is on the mind of typical, CEO, top executive in Nigeria, okay? And these are some of the data that came out of that research, it's amazing. We updated it recently, and you can see whatever they worry, what keeps them awake at night, what is likely to be the short, medium, long-term impact of COVID-19 on the business and the economy. Can our business survive it? So it's a survival thing. What crucial urgent adjustment do we need to make to significantly increase the probability that we will survive as a business? How do we minimize the impact of currency fluctuation, even the issues around oil and gas, price of oil declining, how does that affect us? Where will new growth come from? How do we grow the company without adding overhead? Do we even have the right people on the bus? Do we have the people that can help us survive this period, and move to the next level? What are our competitors up to? How do we address issues of people and culture, okay? When I ask HR professional how many of these issues are HR related, the tendency is for them to want to pick out the things that concerns people, like culture, productivity, and all that. But the truth of the matter is everything here are HR related, because at the end of the day, there's no business problem that people cannot solve. Let me repeat that. There's no business problem that people cannot solve, because at the end of the day, it's about ensuring that you have the right people that can solve those problems. So these are the kind of things that okay, I think I was muted. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, so these are the things that on typical whatever. Now, how many HR people think like this? How many of you worry about how you respond to regulatory changes? Because the impact of regulatory changes on some businesses will shock you. Are these the things that are on your mind, because you need to start thinking like your top executive? So we asked the same top executive what they think about some of our HR function, and their response was very, very interesting. They said HR priorities do not align with the business priorities. One even claimed that HR department committed what he called an appraisal fraud. I said, okay, I've been in HR for long enough. That's the first time I'll be hearing that somebody committed an appraisal fraud. He said it must be a fraud. I said, why? He said, because everybody in HR department scored A in the appraisal. Meanwhile, the business performance was at D at best. So how can people in HR score A when the business is doing so poorly and scoring D? That it must be one of his competitors' performance appraisal that they went to steal and then brought inside his organization, on the night, but it's real, one said that HR people act as if their bomb is glued to their chair in their office, that they never go out to go and interact with the customers to even find out what the people that are on the field or in the front line are experiencing, so that it can shape the kind of policies and processes that they introduce in the organization. One said the data from HR cannot be trusted for accuracy and completeness, that they invested millions in HR software, and yet all HR still uses Excel for most of their analysis and reporting, and on, okay? I don't know if any of these resonate with you, but the challenge is some CEOs actually struggle with us, as HR in terms of whatever. And the other one said, look, we are losing our best stand, and HR is not able to help us, retain them and all that. So these are some of the things that what they think about HR. I feel bad anytime I hear this, because as somebody that has been doing HR business for quite a while, I believe that we should be far ahead on some of these things that people are complaining about. I think Benjamin Franklin said those things that hurt instruct. So if as an HR professional, you feel like, wow, these are not things they should be saying about our profession, then it should instruct us that we need to do things differently as HR professionals, okay? So that's the first hat that you wear. You wear the hat of a CEO. You think like a CEO. You think about the business at that level. The second hat is the hat of HR profession, hat of an HR professional, a true HR professional. So question, what is HR biggest problem? You know, I wish we were in a session where this can be very, very interactive. You know, I wonder what people will say is HR biggest problem. Okay, after almost 20 years of doing HR business, you know, there are two types of, there is HR function and then there is HR business, and they are completely different things. Okay, after almost 20 years of doing HR business, I can tell you categorically that the biggest HR problem is misalignment. That's the biggest. Look, the capacity of HR professionals to be going north when their business is going south is unbelievable. You know, we tend to just get into our own mood and then we're trying whatever. One of the, I'll share a story with you. One of the leading HR thought leader in the world, Dave Ulrich, once told me, this one is not hearsay. I was in a session with him, and he said something that was very powerful about misalignment. He said when he was in GE, at the earliest stage of his career, upcoming executive, he was sacked by Jack Welch. And Jack Welch sacked him because of what he did. At that point in time, they were trying to restructure the business. The business was going through a lot, and there was so many things going wrong. So they were going through all their changes, Six Sigma and all that. If you read any of Jack Welch's book, you'll see some of those programs, you know, mentioned there. So around that same time, he was in HR. So he organized a program on work-life balance and was running it. And somebody, one of the senior executives, went to the academy and went back to Jack and said, look, what HR is doing is counter to what you're saying, basically. And Jack investigated and said, look, we're at cross purpose. Right now, what we need is not work-life balance. The business is at war. So we need warriors right now in the business. So you can't have a different agenda. That I would have loved the situation that, look, I like you, but I would have loved the situation whereby you run this by me and I'll tell you that not now. Maybe in 6 months' time, maybe in 12 months' time, when we've overcome this initial inertia to change, but not now. So he sacked him. And he said it. He said he learned the biggest lesson of his career. And that was the turning point, you know, basically. So alignment, misalignment is the biggest challenge. Okay, what are symptoms of alignment? If your business leaders do not appreciate what you do, it's because you're not in alignment. If they don't value the contribution of your HR function or department, it's lack of alignment. If they don't support your program, your initiative, if they don't show any ownership for anything that HR is trying to do, it's a function of lack of alignment. If they don't report regular, if they don't receive regular report from HR on the impact of HR on the organizational goals, clear set priorities of the organization, it's whatever. If they don't consider HR as strategic value business partner, if HR is underfunded and understaffed, and then if HR is not brought in early, you know, enough on discussion. About 4 weeks ago, I was discussing with a CEO, senior CEO, that I was discussing. He wanted to share his thoughts. He wanted to get my opinion on some major business model shift that, you know, that it was engaged in. So I asked him, have you discussed it with your head of HR? Because this will require that your people have new capabilities. You know, he said, look, I've had similar sort of discussion in the past and it has not led anywhere. I'm not just going to waste my time. I'm just going to find a way around, you know, and that's ridiculous. You know, HR should be the first person to be discussing. Once you decide on a strategic direction, like day follow night, structure must follow strategy. And that structure says, how will we organize to execute, you know, this business strategy? So you're already quickly discussing the issue of structure and then the kind of people that will fit within those structure. So alignment is a critical whatever. So how will I define HR alignment? It is the proactive. So no, whatever, you have to be a step or two ahead, strategic process of identifying right initiatives with the right measure to support the right goals of the organization. Okay, that's what alignment is. Okay, you must be proactive about it. You can't, your business shouldn't be telling you, yes, that you should take the lead or whatever. You know, you should identify the right initiative, not just any. HR gets into all manner of initiative, not just any initiative, the right one with the right measure. You know, how will you check, you know, that those metrics are actually the critical driver of success, and then support the right goals of the organization. This is very, very important. So how can HR achieve better alignment? Quickly, just start with the business. Everything you want to do, anchor it on the business agenda. Start with the business. It's not about people, it's about the business and then how people help to execute. I think it was Devory that said that there's nothing like HR strategy. There is HR implications of business strategy. Just like there's nothing like marketing strategy, there is marketing implication of business strategy. Everything starts with the business. Two, you are funded to help the business succeed. The business does not exist to help you succeed. So it's your responsibility to ensure that you do everything within your power to help the business succeed. Three, you must speak the language of the business and focus on the business goals impact. All this language of HR, competencies, proficiency, HR analytics is tiring. One CEO made fun of HR professionals recently. He said his head of HR came to meet her and said that he should approve that she wants to go and attend some conference on future of work. Okay, he said he almost fell off his seat, that he doesn't know how he will survive and pay salary by the end of the month. And what HR is interested in is future of work. Okay, so he's looking at the context of our business. There are some people, is the future of work they should be discussing now. Yes, because their business is there. You know, they've crossed certain hurdles, especially for people listening to me that are HR professionals in small organizations. The reality of small organization compared to large organization is like day and night. It's completely different. Some of the best practices that they are sharing on social media, LinkedIn, are just not practicable in small organizations. It's unrealistic. They're just not, you know. So it's important that you speak the language of the business, and that depends on the context of your business, where your business is. And then you must become a business partner. You know, you don't need to sell HR to senior businesses that no, HR is important. You know, I see all manner of arguments on like how important HR is. Prove your value. Okay, is the value that you deliver that will give you the degree of importance that you want, not because you said so or because so many people come together and are just shouting that HR is important. HR will only be important based on the value that you create. So that's the second hat. The hat of an HR professional is very important. The third hat is the hat of a consultant. Okay, the third hat you need to wear is the hat of a consultant. You know, what problems are you solving for your business? Because at the end of the day, that's the only way you can truly create value for your business, when you're solving important problems. I want everybody to write this down. And please, if you don't take anything from this session, take this. A consultant is nothing but a problem solver. Most of us in HR, we have a tendency to be problem identifier. We can identify problem for in fact, some people identify problem for a living. Businesses need problem solvers, okay? And to solve problems, when I do something with HR professionals, I ask them for their B&O list. Some even look at me and say, okay, what's this saying? Okay, show me your bottlenecks and opportunity list. Okay, the bottlenecks, the things standing in the way of success of your organization. And then your opportunity list, the things that the biggest opportunities in front of your organization that your organization should take advantage of to advance. Show me. You must have this list, okay, that has the issues and concern, you understand, and then the list that your growth ideas and initiative, and you hold it, carry it everywhere with you. Every opportunity you have to engage your CEO or senior leaders, your discourse. This is powerful when you're in an organization that run business partnering model, you know, of HR. Okay, it's powerful when you can share your issues and concern, you know, for the business, where their business is going, the bottlenecks, the things that can militate against their progress, and then you can share growth ideas and initiatives. This is very, very important. HR people, you must have your B&O list, and you must always have it with you. Okay. The last hat that you have to wear is the customer's hat. Okay, the last hat they have to wear is the customer's hat. Question: who is the primary customer of HR? You know, I'm sure most of you know the right answer to this. I hope, okay, because the primary customer of HR is not the business, is not the people, is not line manager. It is the customer of the business. You know, those people that ensure that help ensure that you're able to make payroll every month is the customer of the business. The tendency of HR to ignore that customer, you know, as if no, we don't have anything to do with it, is quite frustrating. Everybody in the business must be involved in ensuring that the customer of the business, the people paying the bills, are served and served very well. Okay, so how many people here can name your top 20 customers, investors, strategic partners, everybody creating value? And then most importantly, explain why these stakeholders choose to do with your company. Okay, because if you're not able to do this, you're missing a great opportunity. These people deal with your company because of certain organizational capabilities that your company has built or has. The biggest work of HR, the biggest value HR can have is to help build organizational capability. This is so important. You need to be able to answer this question. Customers are key. More critical question is to now align all your HR practices to ensure that they resonate with what the customer of the organization deserve or desire or aspire to. Okay, hiring. Are we the employer of choice of customer, or are we the employer of choice our customer will choose? The people you are hiring, are they the kind of people that the customers want to do business with? Training and development. Do we involve customers in design, attending and delivering training and development? Imagine if you can bring your customer in to come and train your customer service on how to treat them, or bring your customer in to come and train your sales and business development people on how to sell to them. It's powerful. Performance management. Do our standard for effective performance match our customer expectation? Reward. One of my mentors told me something about how Delta Airline in the US was using reward. They printed voucher, each of the voucher, I think about $50 each, you know, a pack of 100, and they gave it to their high net worth, you know, frequent flyer, their most loyal customer. They gave those vouchers to them with an instruction. Anytime you come across any of our staff serving you exceptionally well, give them one of these vouchers. They can redeem it in the organization. I was blown away, meaning they took reward and put it in the hand of the customer. Think about it. You know, so some locally in Nigeria, I met a phenomenal head of HR that created a program. You know, I can't mention whatever because I don't know if whatever. Created a program, some HR in a box too. Took all the processes they use in HR and then made it available to their customers, these small and medium scale businesses they serve, as HR connecting with the customer. Because those businesses are small and they don't have access to those processes. So they put it together and offer it as the value that HR is. That is what it means for HR to be strategic. You must touch the customer. Anybody in HR that is not impacting the customer directly cannot claim to be strategic. They can't, whatever. Some HR people go on sales call with their salespeople to hear the customer, because then it can shape how they respond. And then even leadership and culture, all these are very important. Okay, so those are the 4 hats. Assuming we had more time, I would have loved to have a poll at this point to say, look, on a scale of 1 to 5, how will you rate yourself in each of these, with respect to wearing each of these hats? You know, but we don't have time. In fact, I'm almost running out, so I need to quickly move forward. So part 2 is action. Okay. Question again: what action or behavior separate the very best HR from their average counterparts? Okay. One of the best HR guru, this is Dave Ulrich. You know, this was a program that I attended in Michigan, I think in 2012. Okay. And what he said was, look, to be his best professional advice to HR professional is to be a business person first and an HR professional second. Okay. Be a business person first and an HR professional second. Okay. But me being curious, I asked, what exactly does it mean to be a business person first for an HR professional? What does that mean? You know, basically, his response was mind-boggling. He said there are 4 imperatives, 4 things that makes an HR professional a business person first. Okay? The first thing is knowledge of the business. So whatever you do, know your business, not at the surface level, deep knowledge of the business. You must understand business as HR, whatever. To be the best in HR, you must understand business. That's the first thing. Number 2 is love of the business. Say you must really care about your business and your business success. You must really care about the business, and you must want the business to succeed. Number 3, it says speak the language of the business. And then number 4, drive the agenda of the business. Okay, so let's quickly look at each one in terms of knowledge. Business is an intellectual sport. You know, success for HR professionals require mastery of business discipline. Okay, so what does know the business mean for us exactly? What specific knowledge do we need? I normally run this simple business knowledge self-test for HR professional. Okay, I'll ask them to fill in the blank. The most important source of our revenue is dash. That's one. Two, the most important driver of our business growth is dash. Fill in the blank. I want you to be doing this as I'm saying this. The most important source of your revenue in your business, dash, fill it in. The most important driver of your growth, what is it? The core element of your strategy, what are they? List them out. Your competitor, who are your main competitor? The greatest threat you face as a business. I remember running a strategy session and we're discussing everything, and I asked that all these fancy initiative and let's do, rather than thank God it's Friday, let's do thank God it's Monday, all this whatever. I say, yeah, they are nice, but what is the greatest threat that your business is facing, and how will HR respond to it? It's so important. And then the greatest human capital challenge that you face as a business. Simple knowledge of business test is key. Another one is, another thing we use to train HR professional is what we call business growth value journey, where we take HR professional through 8 core disciplines of business, from ensuring that you have clarity to how do you formulate a business strategy, to how do you plan and execute the business strategy, to how do you design the organization. OD is very crucial, especially more important now than ever, to getting the right people, to metrics, measures, to review. Review is the hallmark of strategy execution. How do you create a rhythm, and then how do you grow a business? Because it's important, okay, to understand the business of HR. The business of HR is the business. The business of HR is the business. The business of HR is the business. I cannot overemphasize that, okay? So there are certain other knowledge of HR, of business that you need as HR professional. There are a lot, you know. What I've done is I've created a link that you can go and download all these questions and use it. Ask yourself, can you answer this question for your business? So go to www.ownersinstitute.com/business-of-HR. Okay, you can take a picture of this or whatever, or copy it down. Don't go there yet. Let's finish this before you go and download it, because we like to get tools and all that, okay? The second thing is love. You know, if I start on this issue of love, you know, we will spend the whole day, you know. What does it mean to love the business? Okay, just take total ownership. Look, the number of HR people that complain about their business is not good. It's not nice. Say negative thing. Meanwhile, this business is paying you. Okay? If it's true that they are so bad, then leave. You know, or go and start your own. Okay? Business is tough. Believe you me. I know there are some really, really difficult to work with CEOs. You know, some people will even argue that I'm one of them. But look, the pressure of business is tough. Okay, but if you take total ownership, you can make a difference, no matter how tough the environment is. You know, we just complain, rant. In fact, some HR people are so negative about their business that they can be accused of sabotage. Honestly, don't do it. Whatever you do, do not be part of a business. They're paying you, putting food on the table, helping you, and then you're saying so much negative thing about them. Rather, fall madly in love with your business or leave, okay? Whatever, take ownership. On the site as well, you'll see an assessment to assess your ownership mindset. Do it, it's for you, whatever. Just go through the ownership index assessment. You know, to what extent do you take ownership in the business where you're in? It will teach you a lot about yourself, okay? Ownership is key. Then language. What does it mean to speak the language of the business? I now need to hurry up now. I wish I can have 5 more minutes to my 45 minutes. What does it mean to have language of the business? The language ultimatum. Language spoken in Australia is English. In Spain, language spoken in Spain is Spanish. Language spoken in Egypt is Arabic. Language spoken in Russia is Russian. If a business was a country, its language would be finance. If a business was a country, the language is money, okay? This is what it means. You can explain your company strategy and how you make money. You can go through your company's P&L and balance sheet and understand your key metrics, critical whatever. You know your payroll expense per day, even per hour. I met an head of HR that calculate payroll per hour. So when our colleagues come to her and say, look, let's organize some jamboree or whatever, I say, okay, this will cost the company this much per hour if we do this. Is it really worth it? You know, is it really worth it? So it's very, very important, you know, to know that these are some of the things that it means. Okay, the third one is the agenda, okay, which is drive the agenda of the business. What does it mean to drive the agenda of the business? These critical things, you know. HR function exists to help organizations achieve their business goal, improve organizational performance, build employee ownership, not engagement, ownership. Engagement is, in fact, that's another story for another day, okay? Engagement is hocus pocus. What you want is employee ownership, okay? Develop the workforce of the future, who can adapt and cope with the future. Develop and attain and retain key employees, and then key employees, not everybody, then meet compliance mandates and then keep the organization running. This requires that we think differently about our role, okay? The number of agenda that do not align with the business that most HR people engage in is really, really shocking, okay? So as HR professionals, we are not in the business of developing and managing people. Far from it. We're in the business of facilitating and improving business results through people. That's our business. And to create value for our organization, we must anchor everything we do on the business agenda, you know, to drive its success. Anchor it, you know. Ask yourself, there's one head of HR I met, she had 72 initiatives in a year, 72. I said, okay, let me look at those initiatives. They are strictly HR-driven agenda. Very few link directly to the top business priority. I said, this is wrong. This is wrong. It's about the business, okay? So again, if you had the chance to create a poll, I would have loved to ask us to rate ourselves on those 4 critical actions that separate the best, whatever. You know, the knowledge of the business, the love of the business, the language of the business, and then fourthly, the agenda of the business. There is nothing like HR strategy. There is HR implication of business strategy. It's about the agenda of the business. So part 3, know-how. I have 5 minutes now. So I'll rush through this a bit because I would like to keep to time so that Tosin doesn't fire me. Okay, so question, what are some of the critical competencies that separate the best HR professionals from the rest? What do they know, okay? What do they know? Okay, there are eight human resource factors, you know, that create immense value to businesses. Very, very important factors. The first one is hiring the right people. The success of any organization, 60 to 80% of the success of any organization depends on hiring the right people. So as an HR professional, if you can get this right, you are already far ahead. You know, ability to hire the right people is very, very important. Some of the best HR professionals, they've almost become scientists in the heart of hiring the right people. This is so important. Number 2, a strong performance-oriented culture. You know, the best culture is a culture of accountability. Let me repeat that. The best culture is a culture of accountability, and not accountability that is top-down, accountability that is peer-to-peer. The day you build a culture where colleagues are holding each other accountable, you are broken through. It's so important. So I've seen HR people build this culture in the organization, and the result is phenomenal. No organization has built to last by not having a strong culture of accountability. None. Okay. Number 3, low turnover, particularly in superior performance or premium employee group. So that is called, HR people call it retention. So they're able to retain. There's nothing bad with employee exits. If the right people are not leaving, you're fine. Okay. So they're able to keep their superior performance or premium employee group. What you don't want is for your superior performance or people in your critical roles leaving. So they are phenomenal at looking after those people and ensuring that they stay for as long as possible with the organization. But in instances where they lose them because they can't compete with Canada, they are phenomenal at building what they call cadre of qualified replacements. Okay, so they're able to build cadre of qualified replacements. You know, very, very, very important. You know, that's succession planning. You know, they have that in place. And then the next one is high level of employee ownership. So they are able to foster it where every single employee in the organization act like the owner of the business. Okay, they see themselves as the CEO of their desk. Okay, that's very important. Then they are very good at strategically using employee compensation and development as a tool to improve performance. Those are two powerful levers that HR people have. Your reward, and your development. How you use it matters a lot. They're able to use it effectively, and then they use competencies across their entire HR value chain for employee selection, development, performance management, exit, everything. They use competency. And finally, which is critical, they invest disproportionately in leadership and managerial capability. They help to grow the leaders and managers in the organization, knowing fully well that the bottleneck is at the top of the bottle. Look at any bottle around you. The bottleneck is at the top. So they know that if they don't fix that, the organization will struggle, okay? The bottleneck, whatever. So the best HR people are phenomenal at these 8 factors. When you combine these 8 factors with the business discipline, what you have is a powerful capabilities to build your career on and become the best. Okay, I know HR people in Nigeria that are earning over 100 million per annum. Yes, it's because they are worth every penny of it. Okay, so you can become the best and take your career to the next level. It's called, it's something you can achieve. So again, if you could do poll, I would have said you should rate yourself on your know-how on these HR practices. And 1 minute to go, and that is it. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you so very much. I know that if we were giving you another hour, you will have gone on and on. And I like the fact that you were brutally honest. And I know a lot of HR professionals don't like to hear this part, but like you said, it's that criticism that helps us to be better at what we do. And we're glad that you are able to charge us this afternoon. There's just one question that we can take because our time is on our side. Let me put it that way. You had mentioned something along the way while you were talking and saying something about sometimes the CEOs can also be the problem.
Yes.
Somebody asked here, in an organization where sorry, I can't do this. Where the business or the business leaders do not allow you to function in your capacity as HR, where in cases where the CEO will rather have you do it the way he thinks is right, even though he's not an HR expert, how do you navigate those nuances? Yes, say for example, I've gotten my HR imperatives or the strategy right. How do I navigate my way through a quote-unquote difficult boss?
Okay, it's really to take ownership. This is what I found out. Every difficult boss is difficult because of certain reason. So if you can get to really understand where they're coming from, it will help. But there's no difficult boss that you cannot disarm with the level of ownership you take. Honestly, look, there's no way you will take the business as your own and the difficult boss will not pipe down and say, look, what else do I want from this person? Is when they can see that you're one leg in, one leg out, strictly because of the difficulty. But there's a book I want everybody to read. I'm rereading the book. That's why it came to mind. This book by this Holiday guy, The Obstacle is the Way. Believe you me, see, some of my best friends in HR today were very difficult clients. But once you overcome that obstacle, you get to be on the inside. Guess what? Every other person is on the outside because they see that obstacle and they run away. The obstacle is the way. The difficult boss is your biggest opportunity. Look, what it will do to you, what it's your capacity as human to overcome that will shock you. Make it a project, an assignment that this person, I will overcome this. You have to, otherwise. So that's one option. If it's impossible, because again, contest, then it's time to get a move on. But don't stay in that complaint and be complaining and be speaking negatively or even be conniving with other employees to create a bad culture. One day I met an HR person who employees will go and complain to, and then she will join them in the complaint and go, very bad, very, very bad. Right. What a shame, So don't do that. So it's either you commit to total ownership, and please go through that ownership index. Total ownership is not half measure, it's total ownership, or it's time to leave. But don't stay there and then continue to destroy value. It's not right.
Thank you so much, Mr. Olagunju. Thank you. It's been a powerful 55 minutes with you. It's amazing how time just travels so fast.
Yeah.
It's already 55 minutes. What's going on here? But we're really grateful for how you have given us this charge to lay the right context for this summit. And for us as HR professionals generally, we really thank you for sharing of your experience. A couple of people have asked for the slides. For as many speakers that we can get their slides, we will send over to you via email since you registered. So don't worry about that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Sorry, Tosin, just a minute. I have a gift for people.
Oh.
Okay, so the first 50 people to share their testimonial from this session and key takeaway will get a free copy of my book, because some people have asked how can they get the book and all that.
Okay.
You can get a free copy sent to you through the organizer of this program. Okay. If you go to ownership team, that's ownersinstitute.com, between now and tomorrow, 6 p.m. tomorrow to qualify, just send in your testimonial and key takeaway, and then they'll send a copy of the book to you, okay? And then I'm releasing my next book in September, basically. And there are 4 negotiable I would like to leave with you guys. Whatever gap you have in HR, know it, own it, close the gap, and whatever you do, never, ever stop learning. Never, ever. Whatever you do, always learn. Thank you very much, everybody. That's it from me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Olagunju. Really, and thanks for the closing nuggets. Really powerful there. I don't need to have to cap it up again because I think that's the best cap we can have for this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So I can go off now. Yeah.
Yes, you can. Thank you so much. Thank you. Moving swiftly on from this point on, it's going to be fast-paced. Like I said, there are more TED-like talks, 20 minutes max for each of the presenters. I'm now going to be turning you to the next facilitator who will bring on the next speaker. Tinuke, are you ready for us? Can everyone hear me?